I'd like to call upon Carrie's higher self.
Yes, this is them.
Thank you so much. Are we able to do a body scan and see what's happening for her body?
Yes, we're scanning right now. Um, she has like a little something going on with her throat, but we'll go ahead and clear that for her.
Do you know the significance or the purpose of that thing in her throat?
It is, she's been having, she's been, she's been having a hard time kind of navigating with her truth a little bit. She's been tiptoeing around some conversations, and so it's her throat's blocked from that, and so we're going to help clear it so she can have more of her truth come out.
Nice. And how will that help her moving forward?
To have faith in that her words matter and that she doesn't have to buffer what she's saying to please the other person.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Okay. And that will give her great confidence and strength to speak her truth?
Yes.
Nice. Okay. Any more information you want her to know about that?
No, we've unblocked it for her and everything else looks great.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. We were wondering if we could ask Archangel Lucifer to come in. I have a quick question for him.
We will ask him to come in.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you very much. Tell me, Archangel Lucifer, what is the name that you expect humanity to refer to you as?
They can refer to me as Lucifer. I really don't have any issue with what they call me. Um, the main point is that they understand who I am when they are calling me is more important to me at this point. And so if they want to refer to me as Lucifer or whatever they use for the representation of me, I'm fine with that.
Is it just the issue that humans love to label things and have attachments to emotions? So when people think that they're calling you in or calling you a certain name, that their 3D mindsets go into worry that you may be annoyed.
Actually, they're afraid and they want to call me something else because they still don't believe that I have a better purpose.
Hmm.
And so if they actually call me by my name, they almost are in a fear base and like, I don't want to call you by your name because what if you actually do have like I will get a demonic possession from calling me by that name. And so that is more or less what I think that fear is coming from, that I'm tapping into is that they're wanting to say that I need a different name because they truly don't believe that my purpose was just as powerful as Christ's purpose.
Absolutely. So then, for the people who are new to this channel, can you remind us what is your purpose?
My purpose of what I was brought here to do is uh, to remind people of where there's darkness, there's light. To remind people that Carrie's going to relax a little bit. To remind people of the what they don't want to become. And so if I am something that has been portrayed that is horrible, that in a sense gives people a moral compass as to what they don't want to become. And I was also kind of a way for people to um, uh, blame their problems on me.
Mm. And so, the tale of you being a fallen angel, what is the truth there?
I chose to appear as I fell from God's grace. I chose this, what would one perceive a lonely mission, because no one, I mean, no one really wants me. And so I chose this. This is a role I took because um, I'm a higher dimensional being, and I knew what that would look like. Although sometimes it is really hard to be the bad person in your perception, because when you get here in the 3D world, it's heavy for me too. And so when I chose it, I didn't realize how hard it was going to be in the entirety, but I chose it to help humanity. And then they believe the counterpart is that when they're saved, then they believe in the grace of the light that much more.
Yeah, I do understand that. Would it be accurate to say that most archangels signed up to these lives realizing, hoping that it was going to be one thing, and actually the reality is much, much, much more denser?
Yeah, like all you star seeds feel right about right now. Although some of you have not been here for the length of time that we have been here and that we have experienced all the experiences, but we, in the same sense that, yeah, you come here and it is very dense. And yeah, even if you've been to another 3D planet, it still has different densities uh, to it.
Thank you. Thank you. And so your relationship with other archangels, I'm assuming, is on par with each other. There is actually really no difference in your missions here for humanity.
The mission's the same. It's to create experiences to honor your life contracts. And so whatever that life contract is depends on what role we would play.
Mm, yeah. Approaching it from all angles to support the same outcome of experiences.
Yeah, whether you're moved by darkness or moved by light, it's still movement.
Fantastic. And as we know that there is truly no good or bad, but just different experiences, I can appreciate that profoundly.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the perception of what has been portrayed in the writings and teachings about us, it creates fear. But it's just like any other emotion. Like how long do you want to stay in that emotion? How long before it propels you to the next place? And so we are here to help people honor their contracts. And we do work together. I mean, we work together. I mean, how many times has Archangel Michael come in and look to expel me out? I mean, that we work together. I wouldn't, I have, free will too. I could stay. I could stay and take that battle with him. Most times it's just invoking a different archangel that they can come, and then I'm like, okay, you got me, and I leave.
It's kind of like a little fake game of cops and robbers, or I don't know, something else, where it kind of feels like it's the illusion of, oh, here you go, human in 3D, now you've been saved. Raise your vibrations, have a better moral compass, and that cheeky little archangel Lucifer won't come and get you again.
Right, right. And it's the good cop, bad cop, I think is what you were kind of more or less what we do. And there is on the 3D of looking like, there is power in both of us. And when there are what looks like on the 3D realm where people are worshiping, they can get power too, but that can also scare people to not ever want to do those horrific things. So it all serves a purpose. It just looks really kind of convoluted and funky down here on this realm.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And so, what do you say about the followers of the Luciferian perception or belief systems?
That they are honoring their life contract, and they are playing a role in what's going on in humanity, and that it's a lot of them do it out of peer pressure. And so that's another lesson. There are some leaders that have entrapped, that came here and didn't. They're on their life contract, but what it looks like on the 3D realm is that, they're really bad people and entrapped people and done horrible things. But a lot of them, of their followers, get into it either unknowingly or out of peer pressure because they just can't give up whatever the power they're getting out of it, whether more money or houses or bigger businesses or anything like that, control. And they do it out of peer pressure, but that's to remind, like, the whole time they're doing it, they're asking themselves, um, the question over and over is, how do I get out? And so they're constantly faced with an opportunity to make a different choice, whether they do or not. That's, their contract, but they also serve a purpose in, like, answering some of those questions. And we need, when the collectives come in, they need to know that information of how it gets so dense and how people go to that place what they'd want to worship, what would be perceived as an unloving fallen angel.
Yeah. It's extraordinary times, that's for sure. What is your message to humanity today?
My message for humanity is to not get caught up in my name, to not get caught up in some of those details that you guys like to busy your mind with. My message for humanity is to always follow that inner compass within yourself, within your heart, which your spirit, your team, your guides, your higher selves are leading you on. If people were to stay connected, I would never need to have come here and to have my life contract play the bad guy on this earth. If people kept that connection and shared their stories and shared how their connections help them themselves with other people, so that other people are inspired to also stay connected. It's once everyone started living for self, that things, there became more and more a need for, there are many sparks of myself on this earth that help me do some of the work that I do. And the more the need for us to help guide people on that path, the more sparks had to break out within me. And if people had stayed connected and trusted, I could have stayed and have not served this purpose here on this planet. And so it's just a reminder that you guys have that power within yourselves to love yourselves, to trust in the teachings that trust in that inner feeling. You guys know what's right and wrong. And I love you very much. It does make me sad sometimes. It does make me sad to see some of this stuff going on, but I do know that it has a higher purpose. And I do know that I'm going to be proud of everything that I did. And you guys will see.
Thank you for helping humanity. I can imagine that it is a very challenging role, more than we can probably even comprehend. And I really appreciate your mission to help humanity, even though most have really no comprehension of that.
You're very welcome. I love you guys all.
Thank you so much. Okay, so I will ask for Carrie's higher self to come back, please.
We are here.
Thank you very much for that connection. We're very curious to hear about the Palladian portal that is happening at the moment, and we're also very curious about the total lunar eclipse to coincide with the supermoon. Do they have any correlation with each other? What can you tell me?
Um, we're gonna call in the Pleiadian Collective.
Thank you very much.
Yes, we are here.
Thank you. What can you tell us about the portal that has been opened or is opened now?
The Pleiadian portal that's open now. We're gonna send something to Carrie here. It's like it's a really like hazy light that they're sending in my field. The Pleiadian portal that we have going on now, you will see more ships entering the skies. And that will be our collective that will be showing themselves during this time. And we are here to help with some of the we're showing Carrie a pyramid again. We'll be helping activate some of those pyramids during this time. But the energies with the supermoon and the eclipse will greatly there's going to be showing me showing me like events on Earth, like they're activating something to create. They're using the energy. They're showing me earthquakes, but they're also showing me like water breaking from a dam. It's a really, really, really big dam with it's really tall, like a tall skyscraper, like and very wide, the dam that they're showing me, that they're doing something there right now.
And what is the significance of working on this dam?
They're showing me it burst.
Oh, I see. And do you get a sense of the location?
It's like it got they're showing me something underneath the dam. Like a there's a tunnel there. I think they're showing me earthquakes too. I think it's that big dam in China.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What's underneath the dam?
It looks like I just see the fighter jet planes or something, like it's a base or something, like they're the ones that look like a V, those planes, and they're gray. And I see like kind of like scientists and stuff down there.
Huh. What else can you tell me?
That these portals will be there's going to be a big earthquake of some sort.
Mm-hmm. And what's going to happen after the earthquake happens?
showing me a bright light, and they're showing me like it's like that sun in the Japanese flag where it has very distinct rays. That's what they're showing me. And so I don't know if that's like a flash or if it's something in Japan. It's like that, it's a very square rays of light coming out of the sun, and it gets really, really bright. And so they're showing me that that is like lots of light. And it's like like a ripples out. It ripples like it's almost like a wave in the water where it's rippling out.
Would it be the solar flash and that the earthquakes happen after that or during that?
Their earthquakes are before.
I see. Okay. And what else do we need to know about that?
They just show me the water coming out like a big waterfall. And that's all they're kind of like showing me right now.
Okay, thank you. In terms of Japan, the land mass after the shift is relatively the same, according to the Dolores Cannon old Earth maps. Is that still the case now?
Yeah, they're showing me everything looks the same. They're showing me like kind of there are a lot of like a big mountain with snow on it. They're showing me that uh it still is in existence.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Um, okay, so then the Palladium Collective. So, in terms of the significance of the moons, what would you like us to know about this lunar eclipse?
That you guys should prepare your bodies, really prepare for this, knowing that the energies are going to affect you. And we are, we are, we are waiting for Gaia, and this is one of her options to be able to use to assist her in ascending if she chooses. So we are prepared to use this eclipse if she chooses for an exit point.
Thank you. And what else would you like us to do to prepare our bodies for this?
Just the same as you would for the high freak, like the high energy that comes in through the light. And if you are feeling out of sorts with what's going on in these energies, meditation, quieting your mind, breathing, really getting into that sacred space within yourself is going to be really helpful because it'll help balance those energies for you even more. And it's almost like you want to put an armor on yourself, and by in proactively doing this and not waiting for the symptoms to occur before and then having the chain of reaction of then meditating to wipe out the symptoms. You have the power to manifest, going through this and transitioning through this very smoothly. Whether you ascend or whether you stay, the energies will still be very intense. And the your what you would perceive as your aura, that bubble around you, really protect that. And you can also send it out to create a bigger space of light that can help with the others that you are around. And it will really help them that energy will be expanded, and you can help the others that may not be spiritually awakened that you're around to help stabilize them as well.
Thank you. Is there anything physically we should be focusing on? Thinking maybe water. Is there anything we can do?
Water and only plant consumption.
Yeah.
Yes, water and only plant consumption.
Hmm. And people would naturally be wanting to do this anyway. Is that correct?
Yes, we tend to think that people only eat meat now out of habit, that their bodies aren't really asking for it. And so you can start preparing now by, being mindful and eating less and less. And then just really focus on the plant foods and water, water, water. There are supplements that you can take. A magnesium is a great one to help with all these symptoms to just and help because your food's lacking in so much of that. And so we suggest that as well.
Mm, fantastic. Is there anything else you would like us to know?
Not at this time.
Thank you. Um, there is opportunities for Gaia to leave at other points of reference in time. And so, would you like to remind everyone that um, we need to still maintain balance in our lives?
Absolutely. Through all of this, as you've seen, there are different opportunities that we've had to help the ascension and the shift to New Earth. And it is so important to still move forward and maintain balance and to really live in the moment and appreciate this moment. We say only that it is an opportunity to use just to show how we use different events to help the shift. But we've said it time and time again that Gaia is the one that ultimately has the final answer as to when that happens. And so, we're waiting on her, and only her heart can say when that's going to happen. And so we just say that this is an event that we can use, and that's why the energies are going to be amped up. So either way, prepare for the energies.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for reminding people that. Okay, so thank you, Palladium Collective. Really appreciate all that you're doing for us, and we honor the information that you trust in us to be able to cope with, to be able to keep balanced.
You're very welcome. It's our pleasure.
Thank you very much. Are we able to connect back with Carrie's higher self, please?
Yes, this is them.
Thank you. I was discussing the situation with another practitioner recently who was saying that one of her clients had been born so fast that there was no connection between her and her higher self. And this was discovered in the session. I would like to be able to call upon all of the higher selves and all the collectives that are here supporting all the beings consciously on this planet at this time. I want to make sure that there is no beings that are not connected to their higher selves. And I want this opportunity now to call upon all who are responsible for these living beings that are on this planet right now. And I would like to call them in to be able to make sure that they are aware and of service and connecting profoundly to all of their counterparts here who are uh, residing amongst us.
Yes, we can help call them all in. And Kira already felt them as you were talking come in. It was like little statics of light, and you could just feel the room fill up with their energies. And it's almost like a starry sky of all the energies that just came in.
Hmm. I am concerned that there could be beings here that have no connections to the higher selves for reasons we have never heard before in a session. So I am asking now for all of these to be connected back if there is any further, knowing that there is one person who had to live a life without the higher self guiding them and supporting them and nurturing them, supporting them throughout their life, concerns me greatly. And I would like this opportunity today to be able to heal this.
Yes, we hear you and we hear your heart and we hear your words of what you want, Joanne, and we would love to help with that. We would love to send the connections for any disconnections. We would love to send the feeling of uh, of those, the lost from home, homesick feeling. We want to send out those connections, and we want to send that love, and we want to send that healing, and we want to make it a two-way channel so that they can really now have the opportunity with the time that's left to just there have been some that have been disconnected, and they're crying right now because this is the first time you felt like they were home.
What would it be like? Can you give us an understanding of how their lives would have been without this connection of their higher selves?
um like before a walk-in, it's almost like a walk-in experience. Like you're kind of like you're kind of aimlessly mimicry, trying to live your life, watching others and seeing how they do it and mimic, because you really don't have that internal guidance. And it's almost like a walk-in when that connection happens, when their true essence and that true like living um, and the remembrance of the life contract. Because how can you fulfill a life contract you have no idea even exists?
Amazing. And so when these beings have been disconnected from their higher selves, can you give me understanding of how that actually happened?
It has to do with the DNA entwined within your spine. It has to do, or showing Carrie like that serpentine on the spine. That when you're, we activate that when you're brought into this and we put the soul essence or the soul sparks and all the information of your Akashic records into that. And if we don't time it right, when you're born into this world too fast, it's almost like it's almost like we're showing Carrie hit a wand to the spine. Like it's a magic wand that this is just a representation. Like when we don't time it right, we can't activate it. And so then that cord that's there between our communications and the human body, it's just not activated. And so by doing this, there are so many tears right now by people who are connected again. It's by doing this, we're able to now have that two-way channel, and they now have that remembrance and the aha moment, if you will, of who they are. It's like walking around the world without a compass.
Could um, could I guess and ask if these were, say, like emergency cesarean births or something that was unplanned or unsuspected? I mean, I guess that's very general because there's so many of them, but would it be certain situations like that?
We were showing Carrie cesareans, yeah, a lot of them, because there's certain with the squeezing and the natural birth process that activates this, that naturally activates this. And it makes sense. We're the medical the medical system has created so many proactive cesareans, what looks like just to be able to get people to plan when they're actually going to give birth, or to plan that they make sure their doctor's there. But that was another thing that was for control of keeping us disconnected, is that all those proactive cesareans had a lot of to play in it, because the mothers usually never labor. They never have those hormones that are released to induce labor. they just locally anesthetize. Carrie's having a hard time. They locally um, induce labor just by cutting open instead of get your body actually sending all those hormones that would be received by the brain within the fetus, that it was going to be engaged into the birthing process.
So this makes me then feel like this is quite a lot of people that have have had this challenged experience of being disconnected.
Yeah, that's why it feels so heavy for Carrie, because it's really a lot. It's not just one person, it's a lot. And they made it seem like it was for just the medical system just made it seem like it was for convenience, but it was a control system.
Oh my god. And I'm assuming then that they knew that this was one of the direct results of having cesarean would be this disconnect of connection.
Yes. And that's different than the emergencies cesareans, like they're showing Carrie, like when the mothers actively tried to birth, all those hormones that are naturally activated would have happened. It's that the ones that are just the appointments. But yeah, there were a lot, and they knew that there was, um, and not all of the babies that were just proactively C-section, but a lot of those, they realized that just was another tool to use.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So then it just feels like there is a huge number of people, not just a few, that have.
Right.
This is feeling a little bit overwhelming.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. Carrie just is crying too because all those babies.
Okay.
But we've sent the calling out. We've sent we've said we are all here supporting this right now because it is profound what you're doing. And we're like showing Carrie the lights, and they almost look like light squigglies of like a telephone cord. Those the spirally telephone cords, like there's lights now that are all like activating, um, and the communications are happening.
Okay. And so, how will they notice now moving forward being connected?
They have the remembering, and they're gonna all have aha moments, and they're not gonna look back at like yesterday, and they're gonna question it and know it was different, but they're gonna start just plugging forward as if you guys do daily. And so it'll almost be like an amnesia of before.
Okay. Okay. Uh, so thank you, all of the collectives that have helped us today with this. I I don't feel like I have much words about that anymore. It's overwhelming, and I want to just keep on trusting that these connections are now being rectified.
Yes, yes, you're very welcome. And yes, and we're sending tons of love and healing to all of those souls. And they're going to feel that just lift. They're going to feel really good from it too. Like they just finally, like, once you kind of get that drive in life, it's going to be kind of like that, where they're just going to kind of start just moving forward and understanding it. And they're not going to have that extreme, from the love and healing, where there are many collectives here. So just rest assured with that.
Well, thank you. I do really appreciate being guided to ask for this and to be able to help. Um, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Okay, so we'll just give Carrie's body a bit of love right now to just help her process all of that feeling as well. So we'll just offer Carrie some profound love and relaxation as well, as she has experienced that, knowing that it is all going to be as it needs to be moving forward. And we really appreciate her experiencing that for us to be able to hear and heal.
Yes, and she's far enough back in her mind that she's okay and we're protecting her.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate all the help that you're doing for her. Um, I do have another important question that I do need to ask. Otherwise, I would have finished this session by now. But we also have been alerted that there are still some crystal ice chambers that have souls that are entrapped. And we have been given the location of Antarctica. Are you able to please call in all of those collectives who can help us locate those beings that are within these ice chambers? Because we're also wanting to free them today.
Yes, and as you're asking, they already started to come in and show Carrie. It's like a crystal ice imagery, and show her the location. We're showing her like the tall, typical gray aliens there, and there's like an ice. There's ice above and ice below, but there's a space of like you could walk in these cave systems. And we're showing one big ice block that has like has one being in it still left. But the being can actually is not entrapped. The being can move freely within that space per their will. So they can go into that space to be preserved, or they can come out as needed, and so they are actually not entrapped. It is a protection. It is a self-protection that this being put, because they have information. They have information that is highly sought after and has been hunted. And so it's almost like a safety zone for this being to go and protect themselves, so that because no other being has ability to enter this chamber.
And what is the agenda for this being for humanity at this point?
This being was also a guardian, a creator of this planet. However, did not use it for enslavement. This being has history of the all the secrets of when they made this earth. And Carrie's got to relax. Just as we're showing her the stars and the sky now, like before the earth existed. It's like the blueprints. It has the blueprints of this earth.
Okay, and so for protection, who was it trying to protect itself from?
The beings that wanted to control even more. They are sub beings of the other trapped souls within inner earth. And so when they had gotten enchambered, they have soul sparks that were still doing some of the work of trying to control humanity, and they knew that I had this information, and so they were hunting me.
I see.
They were searching for me, and so I had to create this safe zone underneath Antarctica because of the weather and the challenges it would face for for these beings to come hunt me.
Did you use the same technology to place you in that chamber as those other beings were entrapped, or is it something different?
No, I used a technology of self-protection. And so it was one more built out of empowerment. Theirs was built somewhat out of oppression. And so I used a different energy frequency and a different technology to create this safe zone for myself. And I used this, all the energy around with the ice is a huge, you're able to harness the energy more. And I was able to create a stronger force field that was not, it couldn't be penetrated by outside forces. But I can leave and go. But once I leave, I'm no longer protected by that. So I stay very close. And there are other beings here. And they, they are trying to find me. But I've been very good at navigating this area and protecting myself. But there is an alien base that is located here. It's a very large alien base. We're showing Carrie this huge tunnel with this huge like ship in the tunnel. And there are a lot of government entities throughout the world too that have bases throughout here. And so I'm able to spy on them too.
Have you been disconnected from your support systems because you're in hiding?
Yes, when I leave here, if I can get to a place and transmit, I do. However, with there being so many outside forces here, that I have to be very careful when I do so. But I do know how to navigate around here if I need to send out an SOS beacon, if you will.
Okay. Are we able to help you at all today with anything?
With any of the souls that would like to open up their hearts and offer me a connection. That way, if I need to use it, I would love to ask that. That way, the option's there for whatever, if I need to use it, the more participating sources just gives me more of ability to, if I need to transmit information.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And obviously, for any concerns, we don't have any fear, of course, because we're that kind of people now. But we want to help you and support you, and we want you to get protection and your information because it seems like you must know a lot of um, physical information that many may not have privy to.
Yes, and I am sending some of that information to Carrie to share with her collectives. So now they are going to be able to utilize her and be able to pass up some of that information. So I'm downloading Carrie right now with a lot of information that she doesn't need to decipher. She can feel the energy of it. It's very hot. It's like making me sweat. It's so much energy, and that's okay. But I can really feel what he's giving me, a lot of information that yeah, I'm going to be, I guess, passing on.
Thank you. And so, Carrie's higher self, will you be able to collect that information, or is it Carrie's collective that she's connected to through this lifetime?
We will help her give it to her collective. He is not a Arcturian. He is a Pleiadian, and the Pleiadians were in contact with us earlier.
Mhm.
And so we're able to transmit and hand that information over to them.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you to all. In terms of what's going to be happening to you during the shift, um, are we able to know what you're going to be doing? Are you going to be leaving these crystal chambers or something else?
Yes, I'm going to be going with the shift. I'm going to be going back to source to provide the information and the experiences that I've encountered. And then I will be going to my home planet.
I see. I thank you. I thank you so much. I can't even comprehend what an extraordinary experience you must have had being within within these crystal chambers. I'm assuming that the information that you have been sharing along when you can have been highly significant.
Yes, yes. And there's been, although what it looks like to be in this area is pretty much desolate, there's a lot of information and a lot of different things that have gone on underground in the tunnel systems. And I'm also going to be assisting with the pole shifts, with the polarity shifts. I've been helping with some of that too. I'm showing Carrie like the flipping of the polarities. I've been here supporting that as well. And protecting because they have wanted to reverse that. So they're one of the, I'm showing Carrie the big, one of the big tunnels are the cave systems that they have been trying to tap in to prevent the pole shifting. It's almost been a tug of war.
It must be so challenging for all of these working pieces moving around, understanding that everyone has their own agenda for this planet and for humanity. It must be quite a challenge to orchestrate this with harmony.
It can be, but that's what I came here to do. And so it's great privilege to have seen this through and to be a part of this. I'm very proud of the work I've done. And although it can get very lonely, since I'm the only being that has been here, it also is quite an honor to have served humanity and Gaia and the collectives. And I'm very proud of myself. And there are many times where I could have given up and was quite isolated, and I didn't. And I'm very proud of the work, and I'm proud of the love that I did feel from humanity when I could tap into it. And there's a lot of love there too. And we want to focus on the negative sometimes, but what I've experienced is when I do reach out, I do feel a lot of love.
Fantastic. Okay, well, I'm definitely sending you a lot of appreciation and love for all of the services that you have provided for humanity. I really appreciate that because I know that people beings like yourself have been crucial in helping us for this time.
You're very welcome.
Do you get a sense of any other trapped beings near you that we could also assist today?
I'm I'm helping Carrie and we're scanning together. Um, Carrie hears like in her right ear, like a help. And trying to help her locate where that's at.
Okay. Can we just ask for some collectives as well to help us with this? Because we need support for this.
Yes, yes. It's very timeless here. It feels like I'm in abyss. Like wherever they are and wherever I'm connected, it's timeless. There's no movement. And it's very still. And there's two helps calling out. It's all, they're like showing me it's almost like in a black hole. It's like in some box within space, within time. I can't even, but we're connecting with them now. And now my ears ringing, and they're kind of like, they're showing me that they have the connection now. Now the ring, now the energy's flowing, and the collectives have connection with those beings, those two beings that were, they were in no space, they were in no time. It was, I've never been to a place like that before. So it's but they have the connection now.
Okay, thank you. Can we get a sense of how they got there and why?
They don't, they don't know. They're very like, they just, the connection is, they don't know how and why right now.
Thank you. Okay. And so for the collectives that are helping assist, can we thank them for the connections?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And is there any others that we need to connect with today? Is there any other beings that need our support?
We can't locate any at this time.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Well, thank you for all that have helped us today. I really appreciate it. Can I connect back to Carrie's higher self, please?
Yes, this is them.
Thank you very much. How is Carrie's body going?
Carrie's doing great.
Fantastic. Okay, thank you very much. Is there any final information that we need to hear publicly, please?
So with all of the information and listening to these sessions, I think it takes away from the ease of the daily life. And we think that people almost get hyper aware of self. And then they get stuck in that hyper awareness of what they are trying to achieve. And it actually almost creates more of a block. And so we want to really just encourage people to stay in their center and stay balanced within all things, and to give yourself more grace in going along this. Because when you have a lot of information, you tend to put more pressure on, now that I have this information, I have to hold myself to a higher standard to apply the information and to move forward. And that is all great, but also the hyper awareness can also create somewhat of a throwing you out of balance. And so just right now, with all of the energy shifts and all the different physical ailments that people feel, is to just really surrender into the flow of the just daily things, and support one another from more of an honest place is really important. And if someone's coming across your field and they are asking for help, try your best to know that we will give you the support and the guidance you need to handle that. But don't try not to dismiss other people because you don't want to take the time to spend that time to invest in them. Now, you will know people's, your intuition is very heightened right now, and you will know people's true motives. So, we're not saying for ones that you can feel have ill motives. What we're saying is, whoever we put across your path that needs your time, we are going to give you the things to be able to help those people. And so, um, just to follow your intuition, follow the guides, really take more time to talk with us in the daily everything that you do. Talk to us like you're talking to someone who's physically standing next to you. All of the abilities and your special gifts and talents that you have will be more heightened and unlocked when you do that and connect with us as if we're a living, breathing being next to you.
Fantastic. Fantastic. And yes, good idea for people to release the pressure of mastering everything. It can just be actually quite enjoyable just to go with the flow.
Yeah, yeah. And so we think that the listeners who are listening to, especially these transmissions, are have been listening for quite some time, and so you can get blocks. But honesty and truth with oneself and with others are going to take most of those roadblocks away that you've had in the past. So really, just be honest and quiet in your heart. And if you have a hard time saying like being hyper aware of being like, okay, if I do this, is this person going to perceive me this way? It's good to look at yourself through other people's eyes and ask that question. It's good to say, how, if I was in that other person's shoes and I walked upon myself, how would I perceive me? Because that gives great introspective of what work needs to be done.
Yes, and I guess you can do it from a more balanced perspective when you have profound self love, because it doesn't eat away or impact one's feelings of oneself.
Right. It's all self love because you want to learn the lesson.
Hmm.
It's not because you want to judge yourself. It's just you want to have just like we want to have better transmissions with you guys. And so we ask you to do those things for your body and drink water so we can. That it's the same thing. Like you just want a better transmission with other beings. And so the best way to do that is just to like fine tune it.
Fantastic. Wonderful. Thank you so much.